They don't vacation, they retreat. While the rest of the world flocks to Saint-Tropez, the Amalfi Coast, or the Maldives, old money quietly disappears to places that don't even show up on travel influencers' maps. These aren't destinations you'll find trending on Instagram. They're sanctuaries of discretion, timelessness, and deep-rooted tradition. Places where last names carry more weight than designer luggage, and where the art of privacy is still the ultimate luxury. Before we reveal these secret hideaways, make sure you subscribe to The Luxury Lane, where we uncover the private world of the world's most discreet elite. Because wealth isn't about what you show, it's about what you know. Now, let's explore 5 hidden vacation destinations where old money truly escapes. Number 1. Mustique, the Caribbean's private kingdom. At first glance, Mustique looks like any Caribbean island: turquoise water, swaying palms, a quiet breeze. But take a closer look and you'll realize this is not the Caribbean you've seen before. Mustique is a private island in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, but it's not open to just anyone. This is where the British aristocracy, European royals, and generations of discreet old money families retreat when they crave a tropical escape without the paparazzi. There are no sprawling resorts, no neon nightlife, and certainly no cruise ships. Only a handful of private villas, all owned by families who've been part of the island's story for decades. One might belong to a duke, another to a shipping heir, and yet another to a quiet philanthropist whose name never makes headlines. The exclusivity is intentional. In the 1960s, Lord Glenconner bought the island and transformed it into a private sanctuary for his elite circle. Princess Margaret famously fell in love with it, building her own villa here, Les Jolies Eaux. And soon, Mustique became the secret playground for British old money. Life on Mustique isn't about showing off, it's about disappearing. There's one small boutique hotel, the Cotton House, and a beach bar known simply as Basil's. Locals and billionaires drink side by side, and no one talks about what they do or how much they're worth. Here, you don't post your vacation. You live it quietly, in linen shirts, barefoot on coral sand, surrounded by an ocean that feels like it belongs only to you. Old money doesn't come here for the scene. They come for the silence. Number 2. Lake Como's forgotten sister, Lake Orta, Italy. If Lake Como is the glamorous face of Italian luxury, Lake Orta is its secret soul. Tucked away in the Piedmont region, about an hour northwest of Milan, Lake Orta is where Europe's old aristocracy hides when Como becomes too crowded with film crews and hedge fund tourists. You won't find flashy super yachts here, like only vintage Rivas gliding silently across mirror-still water. The town of Orta San Giulio, with its cobblestone lanes and flower-draped balconies, feels untouched by time. Generations of discreet families have been coming here for centuries, staying in centuries-old villas passed down quietly through inheritance. They dine at candlelit trattorias that don't even have websites, and they walk to the small island of San Giulio, where monks live in near silence inside a 12th century monastery. Lake Orta's allure is its absence of noise, and both literal and metaphorical. There are no influencers taking selfies on boats, no designer stores on every corner, and no need to be seen. This is the Italian old money loves: authentic, reserved, elegant without trying. A quiet morning cappuccino by the lake, the faint echo of church bells, and the smell of wild jasmine. This is the luxury they crave. Number 3. Round Hill, Jamaica, the Old World Caribbean. Before the Caribbean became a playground for flashy mega resorts, it was a place of understated elegance. And Round Hill, Jamaica remains a living monument to that era. Founded in the 1950s, Round Hill was the vision of a Jamaican-born entrepreneur and socialite, John Pringle, who wanted to create a haven for the world's cultural elite. But what made Round Hill special wasn't just its beauty. It was its privacy. The resort's villas were purchased by some of the world's most refined families, Kennedys, Astors, and Vanderbilts among them. Even today, many of those villas are still owned by descendants of their original owners. Each one is uniquely designed, filled with heirloom furniture, family portraits, and the quiet energy of generations who've returned here year after year. Round Hill isn't about marble lobbies or gold-plated fixtures. It's about freshly cut flowers and antique vases, hand-woven linens, and staff who've served the same families for decades. Even the activities feel different. Morning yoga on the lawn, evening cocktails on the veranda, conversations carried by the rhythm of the sea. You won't see headlines about Round Hill because the guests here don't want to be found. They're not looking for status. They already have it. This is where tradition breathes, where the definition of luxury hasn't changed since 1953. Number 4. Ile de Re, France, where Parisians escape in silence. While the nouveau riche flock to Saint-Tropez and Cannes, the old Parisian elite quietly cross the bridge to Ile de Re. Located off France's west coast, Ile de Re is often called the Hamptons of France. But even that comparison misses the point. Because this island isn't about glamour, it's about grace. Here, families who've had wealth for generations vacation in centuries-old stone cottages hidden behind whitewashed walls. They ride bicycles through salt marshes, shop at farmers markets, and dine on oysters at seaside cafes that don't even take reservations. The aesthetic is minimalist. Linen shirts, straw baskets, bicycles with wicker baskets. But make no mistake, that simplicity is deliberate, cultivated, and generational. Old money loves Ile de Re because it allows them to blend in. There's no red carpet, no paparazzi, no showmanship. Just the sea breeze, the scent of lavender, and a rhythm of life that feels wonderfully forgotten. If you stroll through the village of Saint-Martin-de-Re, you'll pass families who own vineyards, publishing houses, or art foundations. They don't talk about it, they just live quietly, elegantly, and privately. Even in summer, when the island fills with well-to-do Parisians, you can still sense a code, an unspoken agreement that nobody here is trying to impress anyone. This is wealth disguised as normalcy, and that's exactly how old money prefers it. Number 5. St. Moritz's hidden cousin, Sils Maria, Switzerland. When the snow falls over the Engadin Valley, the world rushes to St. Moritz. With its fur-clad influencers, champagne lounges, and gleaming ski chalets. But those who truly belong to old money don't stay in St. Moritz. They go a few miles farther to Sils Maria. It's a small alpine village wrapped in mist, surrounded by still lakes and pine forests that look untouched by time. While St. Moritz glitters with new wealth, Sils Maria whispers history. Here, Nietzsche once spent his summers, riding and walking the mountain paths in solitude. Thomas Mann visited. European aristocrats quietly built chalets generations ago, and their descendants still return, winter after winter, to the same homes with the same silver-framed family photos on the mantle. There are no luxury boutiques or nightclubs here, just quiet fires, classical music, and long dinners where conversations drift from philosophy to family legacies. The hotels, like the Waldhaus Sils, have been family-run for over a century. They don't chase trends, they preserve traditions. There's no need for gold accents or marble lobbies. The beauty lies in continuity, in the feeling that nothing changes because nothing needs to. Guests here value that stability, that rare sense that you're part of something timeless. While St. Moritz hosts Fashion Week pop-ups, Sils Maria remains a world apart, pure, quiet, unbothered. It's the kind of place where an old family's last name matters more than their net worth, and where luxury is found not in excess, but in escape. Why old money chooses these places? It's not just about geography, it's philosophy. Old money doesn't vacation to show they've made it. They vacation to remember who they are. For them, travel isn't about novelty. No, it's about nostalgia. They return to the same homes, the same lakes, the same islands year after year, because tradition is the heartbeat of their world. Where others chase luxury, old money preserves it. In places like Mustique, Lake Orta, or Ile de Re, time moves differently. There's a rhythm, slow, deliberate, generational. People greet each other not with, "What do you do?" but with, "How's your mother's garden?" There are no extravagant displays. Wealth here is invisible. You see it in the craftsmanship of an old wooden sailboat, in the way a linen shirt fits perfectly because it's been tailored by the same family for decades, or in the silent nods exchanged between guests who've vacationed side by side since childhood. To outsiders, these places might seem unremarkable, but to those who understand, they represent something far greater: heritage. The new rich crave access, the old rich crave anonymity. They avoid flashy destinations because those attract attention, and attention is the enemy of longevity. The more you show, the faster it fades. Old money knows that true luxury doesn't scream. It whispers. In the quiet corners of the world, far from cameras, crowds, and noise. It's easy to mistake simplicity for modesty, but in the old money world, simplicity is strategy. Choosing an unlisted island over a 5-star resort isn't about being humble. It's about belonging to a culture where privacy is power. When you're part of a legacy, discretion becomes an inheritance. You protect your time, your space, and your identity. You don't need to prove anything, because the proof is in the generations before you. That's why their vacations look so different. No hashtags, no press releases, no arrivals announced in the news. Just wooden boats, faded postcards, handwritten letters, and afternoons where the only sound is the sea brushing against the shore. For the old money class, the rarest luxury isn't gold or glamour, it's obscurity. Each of these places, Mustique, Lake Orta, Round Hill, Ile de Re, and Sils Maria, shares a secret ingredient: soul. They aren't playgrounds for the rich, they're sanctuaries for the refined. Places where stories linger in the air, where generations leave traces. A family crest carved in a doorframe, initials etched on a weathered boat, or a garden grown from seeds brought centuries ago. There's a deep sense of continuity that new wealth can't replicate. While flashy destinations burn bright and fade, these timeless retreats endure. Quietly, gracefully, forever. The old money travel code. When old money travels, they follow an unspoken code, one that's been passed down like fine china. 1. Privacy over popularity. If it's trending, it's already too late. 2. Tradition over novelty. They return to the same places for decades, because consistency is elegance. 3. Culture over commerce. They value heritage, not hype. Museums, local crafts, and family-run inns mean more than designer resorts. 4. Connection over convenience. They build relationships with staff, with locals, with history itself. 5. Discretion over display. The fewer people who know where they are, the better. That's why you won't see them posting their vacations online. Their memories live in albums, not algorithms. The hidden message behind these vacations. There's a saying among old money families: true luxury is the ability to disappear. When you can vanish into a quiet villa, a hidden valley, or an island where your family name is recognized but never spoken aloud, that's when you've reached the highest form of wealth. Because luxury for them is not in being seen. It's in being remembered by the right few. These retreats remind them that life's finest pleasures aren't loud. They're found in small rituals. Breakfast on a terrace, sailing at dusk, watching generations of the same family gather around a table lit only by candlelight and memory. While the rest of the world measures luxury in price tags, old money measures it in peace. So next time you see the latest top 10 luxury destinations list making the rounds online, remember, old money doesn't need validation from travel magazines or algorithms. Their paradise is hidden in plain sight, tucked behind ivy-covered gates, on islands without airports, or in alpine valleys where time seems to have forgotten to move on. And maybe that's the greatest secret of all. The wealthiest people in the world aren't chasing more, they're preserving less. If you enjoyed this look into the discreet escapes of old money, make sure you subscribe to The Luxury Lane, where every episode reveals the hidden habits, codes, and lifestyles of those who've mastered quiet wealth. Because in a world obsessed with attention, true class still values silence.